The 2025, the 2025, Michael Bakken, Sefwive, EU Scory. EU Council Summit addressed two major issues. Leaders reached an agreement on the Mercosur trade deal, marking a significant development. Discussions also focused on the ongoing war in Ukraine, highlighting differing perspectives on funding its defense. The summit concluded with a temporary aid measure, and several questions about Europe's financial approach remain open. By late 2025, Ukraine's finances were under significant strain. The ongoing conflict impacted its economy. Tax revenues decreased and expenses increased. US aid provided important support for Ukraine, but a policy change in Washington brought that assistance to an end. The European Union then became Ukraine's primary source of external support, taking on a central role in addressing the situation. Following Russia's 2022 invasion, 300 billion euros in Russian assets were frozen, with the majority held in the EU. Some proposed using these funds to support Ukraine, viewing it as a logical response. The European Central Bank, however, noted that such a move could affect confidence in the euro and have financial implications. The discussion continues, with various perspectives being considered. Legal considerations were as significant as economic ones. International law generally protects sovereign assets, and exceptions typically require a UN Security Council mandate, which is not feasible due to Russia's veto power. Attempting to seize these assets would likely result in extended legal proceedings and potential financial consequences. Property rights are fundamental in European law, and banks were concerned about possible liabilities. Departing from established legal norms, even for a justified reason, could create complex precedents. The EU's reputation as a supporter of the rule of law was an important consideration. These legal and financial factors contributed to the decision not to pursue outright seizure. In search of alternatives, EU officials introduced a reparations loan scheme. Rather than seizing Russian assets, the plan proposed using them as collateral for a substantial loan to Ukraine. This approach was designed to address legal concerns. If Russia did not pay reparations, the assets would be used to cover the loan. The proposal aimed to unlock value without direct confiscation and to maintain stability in global markets. For a time, it appeared to offer a solution that could bring EU members together. However, some critics viewed it as a form of indirect seizure, suggesting that legal challenges could still arise. Concerns about possible retaliation and legal complexities persisted. Belgium, where a significant portion of the assets were located, expressed reservations about potential liabilities. As a result, the proposal did not achieve unanimous support. The EU continued to consider its options. For Belgium, the asset discussion was significant. Euroclear, located in Brussels, managed 190 billion euros of the frozen Russian funds. Any decision could lead to legal challenges and financial implications for Belgium's economy. The country's role as a financial center was an important consideration. Belgian officials emphasized the need for clear legal frameworks and shared responsibility across the EU. They preferred not to carry the responsibility alone for a collective EU action. This approach required agreement from all 27 member states to distribute the risk. Belgium's position provided it with considerable influence in the process. As a result, discussions within the EU became more complex. Moscow stated it would respond if its assets were taken. Significant Western assets, including factories and investments, remained in Russia. Russia indicated it could take control of these assets, which would affect European companies. As a result, corporations communicated their concerns to their governments. Russia also mentioned the possibility of legal actions and cyber measures. There was consideration of broader implications for international relations. European leaders evaluated the potential outcomes before making decisions. With the option of seizure set aside, the EU considered joint debt, a model previously used during the COVID crisis. The proposal involved creating a Ukraine fund, supported collectively by all 27 member states. This approach raised concerns, particularly among fiscally conservative northern countries. Germany and France supported the plan, describing it as an important step. The EU was preparing for a significant policy development. The decision to use joint EU debt for Ukraine represents a significant development in European integration. This approach to collective borrowing reflects a practical step toward pooling sovereignty in key policy areas. Supporting Ukraine may indicate a gradual move by the EU toward a more federal structure. These choices carry important implications for Ukraine, for Europe, and for international relations.